Hi everyone, this is Amanpreet Kaur Khurana. This is my very first session with the Jaipur marketers.
This is Sagar Sharma. I am working as a Salesforce consultant from Jaipur, Rajasthan.
So we are going to start with what exactly LLM is. So LLM stands for Large Language Model. So I am going to give you an analogy because usually the artificial intelligence terminology is a little challenging to understand. So just to make it simpler, we are going to draw out an analogy and understand its basic. Then moving forward, we are going to cover the Salesforce Einstein Copilot, its building blocks. We are going to look at its working, what are topics and what are agent actions. And finally, we are going to deep down with a demo. And finally, we are going to conclude our session with listing down the best practices and governance limits and what can be the use cases that can be implemented on Copilot. All right, moving ahead, you can see the two pictures here in front of you. So let's say in your home, you have a parrot with the name Buddy. And that parrot, what it does is it's there with you 24/7 in the house. So it is going to listen to all the conversations that are happening between the family members and is going to store those conversations in its memory. Now, let's say one day you're feeling hungry and you are trying to ask yourself a question, what should I eat today? And the parrot, your friend, the buddy, is sitting along with you because it has been hearing to a lot of conversations in the past. So it automatically gives you an answer that, hey, you should try biryani today. Or maybe, hey, you should eat pizza today because the weather is quite good. Now, let's say this same buddy has got some superpower from the Almighty and is able to listen to all of the conversations happening in your neighboring houses. Now, in a way, this parrot has got more power to give you answers to the questions that maybe somebody from your neighborhood might be asking, right? So this parrot or the buddy, you can treat it as a model which stores the data, it processes it, and finally gives you the answer that you need. Um, in technical language, I hope you all might have been using ChatGPT or Microsoft Copilot. That is what that parrot is doing here. Moving ahead, I'll pass on to Sagar to explain you the basics on Einstein Copilot.
So hi, good morning all. This is Sagar. So now we can discuss about the Salesforce Einstein Copilot. So the Salesforce Einstein Copilot is an AI assistance tool which is developed into the Salesforce, which helped us to handling questions posed by users in natural language and provide relevant answers to it. And it's helping us to boost the productivity of in our day-to-day activity, just like generative reports, creating a task. Like if we are doing any task on the daily basis, like sending an email, calling an log, so Einstein Copilot, we can easily help it. Now with the Einstein Copilot is leveraging machine learning and AI to help sales, service, and marketing. So with the help of Einstein Copilot, what we can do is we can work with multiple platforms, just like sales platform, service platform, and marketing platforms. To use the Einstein Copilot, there should be Einstein generative AI should be enabled in our org. So let's discuss about more detail what are the permission sets and the proof license are required to enable this. So there is one major license is required, the Einstein one. The Einstein one, it's available. The cost is 500 USD per month per user. Then the second thing is if your organization is associated with the partner learning, like it's a partner, then what you can do is you can get access of org for 1 month. It's a free trial. And if your organization is not the partner, then what you can do is if you want to test out your then you can go ahead with your 5-day trial. So this is the first basic license, the Einstein one, which we required to work on it. Then the second thing is Salesforce platform license. Salesforce platform license, we can say if you want to work with the Einstein Copilot on the sales cloud, service cloud, or the marketing cloud, then the licenses we are required, right? So the Salesforce platform license, then the GPT license, and we required one permission set. The permission set is the Einstein Copilot for Salesforce. If we want to work on that with the multiple users, so we can assign this permission set to, and the GPT users as well. These are the two permission sets. If we have like some features related to the GPT, so we can go with this Einstein GPT use. Let's move on to the building blocks. So as we already discussed about the building blocks, the Copilot, let's move on to the actions and topics. So first, let me pick about the topics. So the topic is, if I'm telling you like in a general term, what we are discussing of today. The topic is Einstein Copilot. So this is the main topic, right? And so the topic is nothing like category of actions related to a specific job. So if you want to perform kind of actions, like if you want to create on a case, update on a case, or maybe delete on a case, right? So these are the actions, and in the actions we can consolidate in one topic. So the categories of actions relate to a specific job, and whenever a user enter a request, the Copilot select relevant topics and may ask for more info, like or launch for one or more actions. Let's move on to the action side. So the actions, we can see what we are doing. Thing is, on to the action task that the Copilot can perform. Copilot include a library of actions we have. We can create actions based on the standard actions are also available in the Einstein Copilot, and we have custom actions as well. Custom actions we can create. Let's move on to the reasoning engine. So the reasoning engine, we can say the planner service at last. This is formally known as planner service. So what planner service can do is, it works with the LLM in the background, and whenever a user asking any questions, it is provide basis on the instruction, it is running the background job in the. Okay, let's move on to large language model. So the large language model are machine learning model that understand and generate human language text. So if we are putting something, like if we have any query and we are posting onto the Einstein Copilot, so that query will run onto the background onto the reasoning engine and collaborate with the large language model. So the Einstein Copilot working. So suppose you open the toggle of the Einstein Copilot, we will go in the demo, I will show you, but it is working like this. So Copilot conversation, whenever a user enter a request or pop up the Einstein, so this is a predefined message we will get, and we can change it according to our needs. Hi, I'm Einstein, and now I just want to put my query, like summarize the Acme deal. So I have an opportunity record in my Salesforce, and I want that summary, right? So let's suppose, then what will do, it will go on to the reasoning inside. First, it will check about the permissions, find will this record with the opportunity name, the Acme deal, and summarizing the record and return to the result. So then the result will be displayed onto the Copilot conversation site. It will provide the opportunity summary. This is the standard actions available in Salesforce Einstein Copilot. Okay. The topic is, today we are discussing about the Salesforce Einstein Copilot. This is a topic, right? And in this topic, we are explaining the things, how the Copilot is working. Those are the actions. Now let's move on to the establishing the boundaries. So the boundaries is topic narrow down the actions and CRM data that apply to a specific use case. So if I'm putting an instruction to that, and it is working and searching all the things in our Einstein Copilot, the topics related to the topic, and it will pick the actions. Let's on context, if we are talking about the context perspective, topics help to the Copilot respond in a way to the user rules and the workflows and the conversation stage. And the behavior of it, topic map is subset of actions to a specific task, allowing the Copilot to respond predictably to similar requests. So the thing is, as I told you, the topic is the parent one, and the agents will coming into the topics. So the actions. So we have number of actions, we can perform it, and those actions we can include into the topics. So these are the standard topics are available in the Einstein Copilot. First one is like record summary if we want to use, and the close deals, manage deals, general CRM. So these are the standard topics, predefined topics are available in Einstein Copilot. And let's move on to the custom topics.
So before we move on to the actions, I would like to add one thing here. So the topics are actually the tools that are providing the AI functionality. So in these topics, what we do is we define various instructions. So we are going to see that in the demo today. So what we do is inside the topic, we define particular instructions, And on the basis of those instructions, the LLM is being modeled, and finally, the right answer is being displayed to the user. So this will be more clear when we are going to see this in the demo. Moving forward.
So let's discuss about the actions. So two types of actions we have, the standard actions and the custom actions. So this is the Copilot actions configuration input and output. So if we are working with the Copilot Einstein, then three things are required: the Copilot action configuration, second one is the input, the third one is the output. So Copilot action configuration uses a large language model to make decision and generate conversational responses. So like how it is working, like if I'm putting my query, it is working on it and it's providing me a response. I'm providing my query to the Einstein Copilot in a general natural language. So how it is working, it is working basis on to the instructions which we provided at the time of building the flows, the packs, or maybe the prompts. Okay, so describe what your action does and when to use it in a conversation. The require user confirmation, there will be a checkbox at the time of creating an agent action. When an action make a change to required, like if you want to do any kind of record update, or if you want to create a record, or those things if you want to perform, so there will be a required checkbox that if we check this checkbox, it will ask you for one more time, like do you want to update this record or those things. So this is the Copilot action configuration. Let's move on to the input. Instruction describe how to format and use the input. Then for this input, require this parameter in order to execute the action. So if I want to create on a case record with the help of Einstein Copilot and I posted my query, let's create a case record. So it will ask with me, provide me these name, email. So the number of fields which we use in the agent action, it will ask for the number of fields with me. Name, it could be name, email, and whatever the fields which you started. So this is the input thing. And collect data from user, you need to checkbox, you need to check this checkbox. So if you check this checkbox, then it will collect the data from the users. Then let's move on to the output. Based on the output, instruction describe how to format and use the output. So let's say if you want to summarize an opportunity, or maybe the task, or maybe any kind of object, then the output, how you want to present output onto the Einstein. So the output, it will be depend on this. So this is out of the box actions. What you can do is you can just simply log in your org, just go onto the setup, search Einstein Generative AI, and under the agent studio, you will get the agent actions. There will be some predefined actions, which is the standard actions are available, and the custom actions. Actions are how a Copilot gets things done. For example, if a user asks Copilot for help with writing an email, if you don't want to just open the email, put your to CC and those things and the body. So what you can do is just write. You just need to give in a command. The Copilot launches an action that draft and revise the emails and ground it to relevant Salesforce data. So this is the standard actions we have in Salesforce. Like if you want to get the record, or if you want to generate on a report, so these things you can done it with the standard actions. This is the fun screenshot. Okay, the identify records by name. What I want is I just want to identify my records with my name. What I can do, I just need to put that command. The Copilot will run with the reasoning engine, collaborate with the reasoning engine and the LLM model, and it will return the response like this, based on the instructions. Let's move on to the summarize record. This is the second standard actions we have. So if you want to ask for summarizing an opportunity or summarizing any kind of a record, like if I want to say for the customer support, right? We got on a case and we have lot more details into the case, particular support related to the support team. And you need to go through it with all the cases. Then what you can do is with the help of Einstein Copilot, you can easily get those details. Like same things we did in Chat GPT, right? We are uploading on a PDF and we are asking the questions from the Chat GPT. Let's provide me to summarize these things. So the summarize record will work on it.
So let me take a step back. So this is an out-of-the-box action which is already present in the Einstein Copilot. And as you can see, there are instructions being mentioned on each of these actions that we define in Einstein Copilot. So for example, summarize record is an out-of-the-box action. And you can see the Copilot action instruction being mentioned as summarizes a single Salesforce CRM record. You must call summarize record only if the user explicitly asks for a summary. And along with that, we're giving some examples also in the instruction. So maybe the user can ask for summarizing a record, or maybe it can ask for highlighting a particular record as well. So it's one and the same thing. So when a user is entering a word like highlight, the LLM model that is running at the backend is intelligent and smart enough to make out that the user is asking for summarizing the record. Um, and as part of the input and output also, you can see instructions are at both sides. So at the input side, what this out of the box action is defining is the single ID of a Salesforce CRM record to create the summary for. For example, so now when the user is asking for summarizing a record, it is going to give the record ID for that particular record for which it is asking for the information, or it can provide the name as well to the Copilot. So again, the LLM that is running behind is intelligent enough to make out that this particular record is being asked for. Along with that, the output side, if you can see, it says the rich text summary that was created for the specified record. So the rich text summary is the keyword here, which is picked by the LLM at the back end. And with this word's help, the LLM provides a full summary of that particular record that the user has asked. So we are going to see this as well in the demo today. Let me just move on. All right. So for today's session, we have created two custom actions. One is with the help of a flow, which is going to create a record case for us. Another one is an Apex code, which is going to update a few fields on a case record. Now, if you want to create your own custom action, then you just need to navigate to the agent actions in your setup, and there is a button for creating a new agent action. Um, so let me take a step back again and to what Sagar explained. So you can treat Copilot as a bigger umbrella, and then in a single Copilot, there are multiple actions that you can execute. And all of these Copilot actions are wrapped around a topic which creates a boundary around a particular functionality. So for example, for the demo today, we have created a topic with the name case management. In that, we have provided a set of instructions, and whenever we feed a question or a query or a request to the Copilot, it is going to hit that topic, which is case management, and ultimately it is going to call the related custom actions, which is for creating a custom case record, or either updating a case record. So that's what we are going to see today. All right, so this is just a snapshot. So as you can see, this is a very basic, simple flow for creating a case record. So all in all, I would say that Copilot is the combination of the AI functionality along with the core development functionalities of CRM. So I think a lot of folks are worried that with AI coming in, will we lose our jobs? It is not going to be the case, because Salesforce is making these things in such a way that the developer is definitely needed. And on top of that, you should have AI acumen to build all of these things. All right. So at the back end, this is the flow, and this is how we create a Copilot action. We just define the reference action type. So you can see I've defined the reference action type as flow, and then that is my flow name, JM create case record. And finally, it creates a Copilot action label, and along with that API name, which is very similar to the core CRM functionality. Now I have the flow ready with me. Now I'm going to create a custom action for my flow. So as we've already discussed that we need to have our instructions in such a way that the LM that is running behind the picture is actually able to make out that what exactly the user is wanting me to do. Then the second core functionality that we implemented was an Apex. So as you can see, this is an Apex code, and here also if you see, we have defined the description in a proper manner to help the LLM to find out the exact answer for us. Once I have the Apex code ready with me, I will need to wrap it around an action, custom action. So these snapshots have been taken from the agent action where we have created the custom action for this Apex. So now we'll move to the demo. So in this org here, you can see that there is this cute icon at the top, which is for Einstein. And if you click this, the Einstein AI assistant opens up. Now, I've already, mentioned a few requests that we can share with the Copilot to get appropriate answers for our queries. So we are going to first see what are the out of the box actions, and we are going to look into the identify record by name, which is a very common out of the box action, which is indeed needed in multiple other actions, whether they are out of the box or whether custom ones. So I have an account with the name Pyramid Construction Inclusive. So I'm going to ask my Copilot search for pyramid in construction inclusive record. So as you can see, I'm just talking to my Copilot in a natural human language. I'm not providing any, specific ID here or any other technical details. I'm just talking with the Copilot in natural language. Uh, now, if you see, when I entered this request to my Copilot, it has given me the correct account details. So I can just directly go to that particular record by clicking on this link, and you can see this is the account here. Now let's try another one. So now, if you would have used ChatGPT, so you would know that the ChatGPT stores the previous context of your conversation, right? So similar is the case with Copilot. So Copilot already knows that I have ask the Copilot to provide me information about a particular account record, which is pyramid construction. And now I want to ask another question, which is linked to the previous question. So I just want to know how many contacts are related to this account. So you can see that the Copilot has provided me answer that there is one contact which is associated with this account. So let me quickly go back to the account, and you can see that I can see one contact with the name Pat being linked to my pyramid construction account. Okay, let's move on. Now I want to ask, what is the contact name? Again, I'm not defining the account name here. I'm just asking, can you tell me the account name? So it is going to get the context from my previous question, and it is going to provide me the details. Now this is a generic one. I want to know what are the top opportunities that are available in the org right now, or query in the Copilot, and it is smart enough to provide me the top opportunities. Copilot was smart enough to give me the top 5 opportunities, and with that, it has even provided me the links as well to all of those opportunities. Now, let me just ask it, can you provide the API name for this object? Now that the context has been lost, because the earlier question was about top opportunities, but now what I'm asking is this object. So it's not able to make out which object am I asking about. So now if I write can you provide the API name for product object? So it has already told me that product 2 is the API name for my product object. With this, we can understand that we can use Copilot as an in-org AI assistant, wherein if we want to figure out some internal details related to any of the objects or fields, that also can be answered by the Copilot, apart from asking it about the records. So I want to know that what are the opportunities that were created this week. So I'm going to ask the Copilot list down the opportunities created this week. So it has provided me the list of opportunities that were created this week, and I could directly go and have a look to them by clicking on any of these links. So let's say now I want to move back to the pyramid construction account record, and I want to know how many open cases are there. So I'm going to ask my Copilot, show me the open cases for the pyramid construction inclusive account. So you can see here it has provided me the information about the cases that are linked with the pyramid construction account record as of today. So there are other questions as well that you can just shoot down to the Copilot, and it is going to provide you the appropriate answers related to those queries. Now moving ahead, summarize account is another great out of the box action of Copilot. So let's say if you are a sales representative and you want to know the internal details of a particular record, in that case, instead of moving down to that particular account in your org, you can just simply write down the query to the Copilot, and the Copilot is smart enough to summarize the details related to that particular account for you. Now, I have an account record with the name Grand Hotels and Resorts Limited. So I'm going to ask my Copilot to summarize the Grand Hotels and Resort Limited account for me. Okay. So you can see here, this is all the summary that the Copilot was able to build for me. It is telling me what are the products associated with that particular record, what are the opportunities, what are the open cases, what are the activities, and what are the contacts related to that account. All right, now coming to the custom action records. So earlier there was just Copilot, but 2 weeks back Salesforce has changed the whole terminology, and it has come up with the name of Agent Force. Now, Agent Force is a combination of Copilot along with the other agents, for example, sales agent, service agent, etc. So if you click on this agents here, you're going to see this Einstein Copilot at the very bottom. You click on this, and these are certain detail. This is the detail section for your Copilot. Along with that, what all actions have been included for this Copilot. For example, this can be either out of the box actions or custom actions. Then we have some system messages. So this is the place where you can define your welcome messages or the error messages. So currently we are using the default one, which is hi, I'm Einstein. So the moment you open the Einstein Copilot, this is what you see on that assistant. Language settings. So currently Copilot is available in English only. It's still in beta version, I would say. But going forward, Salesforce is going to include other languages as well in it. And here you can set the tone of your conversation, whether you want it to be casual, whether you want it to be formal, etc. So you can see here currently this Copilot is in active state. Now you can see this button at the top which says open in builder. So this is the place where we actually build our custom actions. So this is the section where we define topics. So you can see this case management topic is the one that we created for today's session. So as we talked about the importance of writing down the instructions or the descriptions, You can see here that at every stage we are making the instructions or descriptions clear enough for the LM at the back end to make out what action to execute. So for example, the topic label has been set as case management, and then classification description says answers questions related to case record creation or update. So I hope you remember that we created two core functionalities. One is we created a flow to create a case record, and second is to update the record, which was implemented with the help of an Apex. So that is what we are, making it clear in the description that this particular topic is going to be called in the case where we want to create, we want to create a case or we want to update it. Now, scope also, it's a similar thing that we are doing. So we are saying your job is to only handle tasks related to case record creation or update by updating the field values and returning back the details of newly created case record. So you can see all of these things that we are doing here, it's in natural human language. We are not adding any core technicality here. Along with this, we are providing more instructions to be used by the LLM at the backend. So for example, the first instruction says always the user provides the record name, then fetch the record ID using the record name with the help of standard actions. Now, what we are asking the LLM to do at the backend is that it should. So basically, this will be asked to a user by a copilot, but internally, if we see, this is going to be linked to the LLM. Now, um, so the copilot, so this instruction is making sure that the user needs to fill in the record ID or the record name, right? Next instruction, uh, we are saying that avoid using structured list, bullet points, or numbered list. Instead, present the information in complete sentences and paragraphs as if you were writing an article or a report. So again, we are making this restriction. So as I told, Copilot is still in beta. There are still some improvements that need to be done. It has a limitation that if, let's say, you are asking the Copilot to call two actions at the same time, it is not going to give you an answer to both. It is just going to execute one particular action from that statement, and it is going to exclude the other one. So there are certain other instructions that we usually give, like do not declare your intent. When asked for a summary on multiple records, you must iterate over all records IDs and for each one call get record details. So this get record details is again an internal out of the box action that we are trying to call in our custom action. Now moving ahead to the agent actions. So this is the place where we are defining our actions. So you can see here we have a list of agent actions that may be custom or out of the box. So the two custom actions in our case is create case record and update case information updated. Let me quickly go to the create case record. All right. So again, you can see here we have provided a long description in our action. So everything is going to revolve around the text or the natural language. So you need to make sure that the description, the instructions are proper enough for the LLM to make out that what exactly is being asked. Now, if you scroll down, we see the two sections, inputs and outputs. So account ID is going to be an input for me. So I'm asking and I'm setting the instruction as get record ID for account record by first invoking identify record by name action. So this is again an out of the box actions. Then I would need the case reason, I would need the priority, and I would need the subject. So these are the four inputs that I would need from the user to create a case record. So this is the update case information updated action. So this name is automatically coming from the Apex that we created. Again, you can see here inside the Copilot action instructions, we have exactly defined the instructions to the Copilot, along with providing an example also. So for example, it says update the case number so and so by changing the priority to low, status to closed, and subject to case is resolved, waiting for customer to provide the feedback. So users are going to provide the case number based on the number query the case using identify record by name action. So I would say the tricky part here is to define these instructions, and a lot of testing needs to be done when you define these instructions, because you never know, because the replies that you get back from the LLM are not in your control. So it is very similar to a chat GPT. When you use it, uh, the moment you enter a question, it depends on the chat GPT, how is it going to give you an answer to your query, right? Similar is the case with Copilot. So here the inputs are case ID, priority, status, subject, and then finally it is going to provide us the updated case. Now I'll just move back to the Copilot again. So I want the Copilot to create a case for me for this account with the name Gene Point. I want the subject as support case, and I want the case reason as new problem, and I want the priority for that case as low. So I'm just going to copy this from here and put it in the Copilot. Okay. So you can see here it has created a case with the number 00001046, and it has provided me all the other details that were updated on that record. So let me just quickly open this and show it to you. So this was the case that got created. It has the subject as support case, it has the priority as low, it has the status as new, it has the case number as what was listed there in the Copilot. So there are certain other fields that we are filling in through the flow itself, which are like fixed. We haven't changed that. So for example, the case origin has been set to web in the flow itself. Moving ahead, if let's say I don't want to, I'm not in a mood to write down the full command to the Copilot, and I just give a very small command to my Copilot that create a case for Gene Point. So now what it does is it provides me two input text boxes to fill in the details for my priority and for the subject that I want to be linked to the new case. Now I'll just set the priority as medium and subject as maybe good morning. So you can see that a new case has been generated with this case number along with this case ID and so on. Let me just quickly open this for you. You can see the subject is good morning. Along with that, status is new, priority has been set to medium, account name is Gene Point as was provided in the command. The purpose of writing down these three different statements was to make you understand that the Copilot is smart enough to understand the natural language in whichever way you are writing the query. Now let's move on to the second action, which was second custom action which we created, which was update case record. So let's say I want to update the priority of a particular case to low, and I want to change the subject as well for that particular case. Now what I'm going to do is I'll just copy this one and I'll just paste it. Let me first check whether the record is available in the org or not. So you can see here the subject is demo right now, priority is medium, account name is this, and then rest of the details follow. Now, so I'm not bothered about the account that is related to this particular case. All I want is the priority to be changed to low and the subject to be changed to let's roll. Let's go back to the record and quickly verify whether the fields have been changed. All right. So you can see here The subject has been changed to let's roll, and the priority has been set to low now. Let's try another one. So here I'm just asking to set the priority as low for this particular case ID. So I'm not asking it to change the subject, but I'm just asking it to change the priority. So all of these functionalities or the changes are being done by the flow or the Apex that is running at the backend. And as per your use case implementation, you can make the changes to your flow or Apex accordingly. I think it's the same one. So the priority has been already set to low. So with this statement, let me just change it to high instead. So it's done. Let me just refresh it. So you can see the priority has been set to high now. If you want to close the case, that can also be done. So you will just mention your Copilot that can you please close the case with this ID, or if in case you have the case number, you can directly put the case number as well in the command. So let me just pick this particular case record itself. I'll change the ID here. So currently it's in status new. Once I give this command to the Copilot, it's going to close the case for me. All right. So you can see the status has been set to close now. So with this, we end the demo. So there are certain limitations that are present with a Copilot as of today, and we have listed a few best practices also that need to be taken care of while making use of a Copilot. So, for optimal performance, Salesforce advises us to not make use of more than 15 actions in a particular Copilot instance. That's a limitation. Maybe going forward, this limit can be changed. Uh, Now, as I already mentioned about this earlier, that Copilot supports only one intent per utterance. So what do we mean by this is, let's say if a user is asking a Copilot to summarize the Acme deal, a particular deal, and it is also asking to send an email to a particular contact. In that case, the Copilot is going to take care of only one request from the user, which is it is going to maybe pick the first one or maybe pick the second one, depending on its choice. It's not in our hands. Um, by default, it runs on user mode as of now. When you create a custom action, again, I think this I already mentioned while we went through the action slides and the topic slide. So we cannot specify how the output appears in the Copilot conversation. So it is very similar to Chat GPT. So if you are giving a command to Chat GPT or Copilot, it is not in your hands how the Chat GPT or the Copilot is going to respond back to you. The output is formatted automatically. Language and AI support. So language support, I already told that as of today it supports English. Moving ahead, session and context. So the Einstein Copilot sessions are tied to your browser tab. So if in case you close the tab, the the Copilot history is going to be lost, and you will have to open a new instance of your Copilot. And so there is an option to activate your Copilot in case, you know, by any mistake, the Copilot is being deactivated. In that case, the Copilot is going to send a system error message to the user. So the error message is again the Copilot decides the format of that error message. It is again not in our hands. Object support. So as we have already discussed that Copilot supports both custom and standard user interface API supported objects. And there is a section of description in all all the objects that we have in Salesforce. I don't know how many of us have been writing that down, because as a developer, we never took care of writing the long descriptions in while creating a custom object. But now For this Copilot, we need to make sure that we are providing a correct description to our objects and fields for better performance. Moving ahead to the use cases. So for sales professionals, if you want to accelerate deal closures, we can do that by summarizing records, or we can even make use of other out-of-the-box actions like draft or revise email, which can help us in generating customized communications for our clients. Service teams can streamline case resolution and boost customer satisfaction by surfacing relevant answers, offers, and data from the systems. In case of financial service companies, they can use Copilot to trigger actions like triggering free reversal request for disputed transactions, issuing provisional credits, and pulling list of recent customer transactions, which in return is going to save time and resources. So with this, we conclude our session today. Hope you all liked it.